download this video will explain how to actually do your work for this class, how to learn the material, practice the material, and assess. In other words, take quizzes and tests. So the first thing you need to know is which unit you are starting with, and that information is on your pacing guide that you got from your instructor. Please pay attention that Unit 0, nobody in this class is working in Unit 0. That's there for your review if you want it, but it is not part of this class. We will start with Unit 1 for the purpose of this video, but you may or may not be starting with Unit 1. If you have questions about what unit you're supposed to start in or which ones you're completing this semester, please contact your instructor before you get started. So as you see, the links on the left-hand side mirror the links here in the body, and you can get to these places either by clicking on either link. So each unit is going to have a pre-test, it's going to have some sections, and it's going to have a unit review, a practice exam, a unit exam, and exam corrections. So the only thing that's different from unit to unit is how many sections are in each unit. So I'm going to show you what the pre-test looks like, and that's what you're going to do first. You're going to take the pre-test for your unit, and that is not to actually test you. It's for you to be able to tell the software what you already know about this material that's in this unit. And anything that you get right on the pre-test, it will mark some of those homework problems that cover those topics already done. So when you click on a homework, you'll open it up and some of the problems will already be done, even though you haven't entered that homework assignment yet. And that's from whatever you did on the pre-test. So you definitely want to do the best job you can on the pre-test, because you want to get credit for anything you already know, but you don't want to panic about it. If you see a problem you have no idea how to do, just skip it. And you can, look through the whole thing and click on submit when you're done. When you click on pre-test, it will be the first thing in the list. So you click on Unit 1 or whatever your unit is, pre-test. There is a password for all the pre-tests. The password is simply password. And then you click OK. And you will see this required for study plan mastery 100%. Don't pay any attention to that. That's just for the mastery of your study plan, which I will talk about in a later video. So that is not a minimum score you have to receive. This list is everything that requires you to do this pre-test in order to access. So you can't access 1.1 homework until you've done the pre-test. So that's a list of everything that depends on you getting this pre-test done. You click on I'm ready to start, and you go ahead into your pre-test. So that's the first thing that you need to do. If you think you already know this material and you want to demonstrate that to your instructor and get credit for the unit, then you need to contact your instructor and take the pre-test with him or her. So if you're a face-to-face student, you'll have to take it in class with your instructor. If you're a DE student, you'll have to go to the testing center to take it, and you'll have to notify your instructor if you pass it, which is a 75% is a pass for the pre-test. And so if you pass it and you took it at the testing center, you need to let your instructor know so that he or she can verify that and give you credit for it. If you don't pass it, don't worry about it. Just go on into your first section. If you open it at home and look at it and say, oh, I know how to do this, I better take it at the testing center, it's too late. You can only access it one time. So if you think you can pass it, don't open it till you go to the testing center. But to be honest, very few people actually pass the pre-test because they were correctly placed in this unit. So don't panic about it. Don't go to the testing center unless you're absolutely certain. Go ahead, open the pre-test, answer the questions you can, skip the ones you can't, and move on. So your first section then, all your sections are actually going to look the same. There's 5 steps that you're going to go through for every single section. So your first step is to actually read the e-text, work the examples, learn the material. You're not mastering it yet. This is your first exposure to it. This is what you're doing instead of listening to your teacher lecture. Okay, there are lecture videos embedded in the e-text which are extremely helpful and which you should watch. But this is the most important step as far as you beginning to acquire this information for yourself. Your guided notebook has exercises for you to, examples for you to work out as you're reading, and ways for you to check your answer and make sure you got the right answer. So you can either click here or you can click on this link. Sometimes there's more than one e-text section for our unit section. So make sure that if once you've done the first one, you come back and do the following ones. When you finish doing all the reading and taking the notes in your guided notebook, you're ready to do a reading quiz. And you have to get a 60% on that before you can access the homework. And the quiz, you have as many times as you need to get a 60. Sometimes they're trickier than we mean them to be. So, but it's just a quiz on vocabulary and basic concepts that you've just learned from doing the reading and working the examples. Then you get into your homework, and again, some of those problems may have already been done for you based on how you did on the pretest. And you have to get a 90 or better before you can access the quiz. I would strongly recommend that you get 100% on the homework. You can access the next thing with only a 90, but if you have 100, then you're sure you're ready for the quiz, because invariably, if you stop working on the homework as soon as you get a 90 and you go into the quiz, the problems you didn't do on the homework are going to be the ones that are on the quiz, I can guarantee you, and you won't be able to do them then. So stay in your homework. There's a later video that explains how you can get 100%. You just rework any problem that you miss as many times as you need to. So you can get 100 on the homework, and I recommend it. Now you have the practice quiz, which is optional. So you don't have to do the practice quiz if you feel ready to do the quiz. In fact, sometimes people finish the homework, take the quiz the first time, and if they don't pass it, then they go into the practice quiz to do some more practice. But if they do pass it, then they move on. You've got to get an 80% or better on the quiz before you can go to your next section. You have 5 attempts on the quiz, so don't just keep taking it over and over and over. If you don't pass it the first time, you need to do some remediation and figure out how to be better prepared for the quiz. So, and there's instructions on how to do that in the announcements on the home page of the course. So that's how you work through your sections. When you finish all your sections, you're ready to do the unit review. This is a homework assignment that covers the entire unit, and you have to get 100% on that unit review. So again, it's a homework. You can rework any problems that you miss until you get 100. Once you have 100 on there, you're ready for your practice exam. You can do your practice exam as many times as you want to. I recommend that you do it at least a couple times, because the more you practice, the better you're going to do on the exam. But you have to do it at least once and get a 75 or better before you're able to access the actual exam. Now, I will tell you that if you just get a 75 or a 76 on the practice, you're not ready for the exam. Even though it will let you access it, you're not ready. Everybody's score drops a few points at least when they take a real exam, a real test, because of just some built-in test anxiety. So if you are only making a 75 or a 76 on the practice exam, you don't have a big enough cushion to go in and take that real exam. So you need to practice again, and I don't let my face-to-face students test until they're making an 80 or better on the practice exam. Again, there's no minimum. You can practice till you're making in the 90s before you go take your test, but it depends on how much time you have. Time management is going to be your biggest issue in this course. So you take your practice till you're ready, then you're ready for your unit exam. If you do not pass your unit exam the first time you take it, you have 2 more attempts, but you'll have to do the exam corrections before you can access your second attempt. There's other things you'll have to do too. That's covered in the announcements on the course homepage. So again, you have to go to the testing center for DE students. I think that's all I need to cover. Once you finish, you pass your exam, 75 or better, you're ready for your next unit, and you just go ahead and get started on that. Your pacing guide is going to be your biggest, most important feature for this course as far as staying on track with your getting your assignments done each week and making sure that you finish your unit within 5 weeks.